What's up, everybody? Jordan here with the Deck Box, coming back to you today with another Forbidden Light deck profile. And I do need to say real quick, I do apologize. I think it's been like almost 2 weeks now. Again, I had another little spurt with no videos, and I do apologize for that. My microphone has actually been really jacked up, and actually tonight I decided I would just try it without the nice microphone. Sorry, I got to adjust my camera here. And it suddenly was working, but there's still something going on where it sounds weird in my ears. So I'm gonna try it like this. Hopefully it works for you guys. Let me know if the audio sounds okay like it did in the other videos, and I'll know to move forward. I'm just trying to, I guess, tweak some other things. So anyway, without further ado, we're actually going to be looking at a list that kind of got pretty big in Mexico this past week. There was a special event down there, and Malamar Necrozma, not Malamar Ultra Necrozma, just Malamar Necrozma actually got pretty big. I actually got this list like 2 weeks before this even happened, or a week and a half before it happened. I wanted to do it, and then my mic jacked up, and I just decided not to record until I had a decent audio because I didn't want you guys to have anything that was crappy. But anyway, I got this list from a friend of mine who got it from a friend of his who he plays PTCGO with online. Credit goes to It's Apollo TK for this list, so thank you very much, dude. I greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to run through this list real quick. I think it's a super cool list, super consistent, and it wins games. You know, my first game was against an Ultra Necrozma list, and we were up 6-3, and they just scooped because there was absolutely nothing they could do to combat this. So I'm going to hop into this, talk about the list a little bit, tell you some of the things that I might change for future matchups, and then we'll just hop into some games. So starting off, we do have the Dawnwings Necrozma, which is pretty popular in these Malamar lists, to be able to switch in and out between the active with that invasion ability. Plus, you do have a couple other advantages. One, it is a Psychic Pokemon that is not weak to Psychic, so that's a big advantage. It's weak to Dark, which I know could be an issue with Zoroark, but I don't think Zoroark's going to be... honestly don't think Zoroark's going to be doing that much here pretty soon. We've got these Malamar lists, we've got these Beast lists. I'm not sure Zoroark's really going to be a big part of that. If he is, it'll just be kind of a side Pokemon with that. And even if he is around, this is one Pokemon out of 60 cards, so not a huge deal. But Dawnwings also has a couple of cool attacks. First one, Dark Flash, does 120 damage for 3 Psychic Energy. This attack's damage isn't affected by resistance, but it is affected by weakness, so that's going to one-shot your Buzzwalls, things like that. Very important. And then Moon's Eclipse GX, 180 damage. You can use this attack only if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent's. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. Yada yada yada. So pretty solid Pokemon actually. Now that it has a good partner in Malamar, and I think that was really kind of the key to Dawnwings being really good. And I know that prices on this have kind of hiked up recently, so if you're going to get one, you might want to get it soon. Thankfully, I pre-ordered a couple back when Ultra Prism came out, so I still have mine, so we're good. Then from there, we're running a 3-3 Malamar line. Malamar has that Psychic Recharge ability. Once during your turn before you attack, you may attach a Psychic Energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So this is why we need Dawnwings, so that we can swap in and out the active and be able to make sure that we get the right Pokemon on the bench receiving the energy. And then Malamar has Psychic Fear, does 60 damage for 2 Psychic and Colorless. Probably not going to use that attack. If we are, then we're desperate. Then we're playing 2 Mew from Fates Collide. Has that Memories of Dawn ability. This Pokemon can use the attacks, of any of your basic Pokemon in play. You still need the necessary energy to use each attack. So we're not using this for the weakness factor. All of our Pokemon are Psychic in this list. We're using this for the prize trade factor. Giving up 1 prize for 2 is always solid, and that's why we play this Mew. Another thing to consider, free retreat's not a bad thing to have. And then, of course, matchups like Hoopa, you're going to need a non-GX Pokemon to be able to attack that besides Malamar, and Mew is the better option. This is the point where I say there's a couple of cards I would look at including alongside of Mew or in place of Mew. So I personally would cut this to 1 Mew and then add a Clefairy to counteract the Ultra Necrozmas that we may see. And then I believe it was Raul who included a Mars Shadow this weekend. It was Raul or Sam Chen or maybe both of them that included a Mars Shadow GX in their list to counteract Zoroark. I don't think that's a bad option, unless of course, like I said, Zoroark kind of fades away and then it's not really worthwhile. And I still think this could outspeed Zoroark a little bit. So that one would be kind of a 61st card for me, but I would consider looking at the Clefairy. I know I've heard a few people talking about the Clefairy as an option from Evolutions, which real quick, if you don't know what it does, I guess I should explain that if I'm going to tell you to possibly include a card. No, that's right, I don't have one online, which really sucks. Alright, so the attack that you're going to be using will be this Metronome. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So if it's a colorless attack, you could use those. If it's another Psychic deck, you can use that. But mainly, this is to counteract Ultra Necrozma. To go out there and use Ultra Necrozma's attack, discard your Psychic energy, and then hit Ultra Necrozma for just a ton of damage. Since, of course, it is weak to Fairy. So that is why I would look at including one of those. But anyway, moving on from there, the cool part of this list, the main attacker, Necrozma GX, has that ability, Lights End, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from colorless Pokemon. Not super relevant right now. It really would just count for like Drampa, the rare Drampa that we see nowadays, Tauros, which doesn't really see play anymore, maybe a Rangaroo, you know, if someone needs to use that, but really not a ton of other colorless Pokemon right now. Then we have the first attack, Prismatic Burst, 10 plus damage. Discard all Psychic energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 60 more damage for each card you discard in this way. So the reason people are playing Necrozma over Ultra Necrozma is, of course, that Necrozma hits for weakness. It doesn't do as much damage because I believe Ultra Necrozma is 20 plus 80. So you're already doing an additional 10 to start, and then each energy after that is an additional 20. So there's definitely an advantage there. However, with Necrozma, you don't have to have two different types of energy, so it allows the deck to be slightly more consistent. You know, you're only going for one type of energy. You're not having to kind of mess with things. Sorry, I just realized my laptop's sitting kind of high. There we go. You're not having to do two different energies. You're hitting the weakness. And really, I mean, discarding 3 energy, you're doing 190. That's really all you need. Plus a choice band, you're hitting for 220. You're pretty solid with the current meta. If you're discarding 3 Psychic with Ultra Necrozma, it's over the top. You don't need it. So really, people are just going with the meta, and right now the meta is perfectly fine with Necrozma. Because, of course, Buzzwell is also still a big thing. It's weak to Psychic, and yeah, so it just kind of helps Necrozma out in the end. And then, of course, Black Ray GX's attack does 100 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX. This damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. So that's another great way to just kind of spread on the field, 100 across the board, and then maybe just kind of pick things off if you know, you want to kind of preserve some of your energy by not discarding with Necrozma, and then maybe you can use Dawn Wings or Baby Mew here to use Dawn Wings attacks to kind of clean things up. Or even Malamar with a choice band swinging for 90 after you've got 100 across the board. You could actually do some pretty solid damage with some one prize Pokemon. Then from there, what is it? It's Apollo chose to include 2 Tapu Lele GX. Of course, this is to allow us to be able to search out our supporters with the Wonder Tag ability. That's pretty much the main reason for Tapu Lele. But in this deck, it also has a little bit of an edge because of Malamar's ability to be able to throw energy on from the discard pile. Energy Drive could actually get really outrageous. If you have things built up already that you're just ready to go and you want to start building up a Lele as kind of a secondary attacker, there's definitely no shame in that, and it's really not a bad idea. And in this list, you also have the advantage of Tapu Cure GX as an option if you need it. Maybe you're playing the mirror match and someone spreads the 100 damage with their Necrozma. You can use Tapu Lele to completely heal 2 of your bench Pokemon, which is pretty solid considering we won't have a huge bench. So if they do use that GX attack, it's not going to be hitting a ton of Pokemon. Then from there, getting into the items, 3 Field Blower. This, of course, take care of Garbotoxin. It's kind of a big deal right now. Won't be for in a few months though, so happy to see that come to an end. But then also to get rid of Parallels and things like that that could cause problems for us, because of course we need as many Malamar out as possible to make the deck function properly. And if we don't have our Malamars, we're kind of dead in the water. So Then from there, for Mysterious Treasure, this is kind of our new Ultra Ball for this list. All of our Pokemon are Psychic. This allows us to search out our deck for any Psychic Pokemon by discarding only one card as opposed to two, like Ultra Ball would normally have us do. So that's what really adds kind of an edge to most Malamar lists right now. But then we also have more Ball Search with 3 Nest Ball. Of course, we're running like all basics aside from Malamar, and 3 Ultra Ball. So the Ball Search in this deck is insane. There's 10 options, and we've only got 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 14 Pokemon with 10 Ball Searches. That's just like unheard of. Normally we have 4 to 6 with like 15 to 20 Pokemon. So it's kind of tilted in this deck, so it makes it near impossible to miss your Pokemon. These also become good throwaway cards. Your Ball Searches become good throwaway cards after a while. It makes the deck super consistent to be able to just dig through your stuff. Then of course 2 Rescue Stretchers. This is to get back any of our Pokemon. As I just mentioned, we don't have a ton of different type of Pokemon, so we may need to get them back at certain points. Then we run our own parallel cities to counteract other Malamars, because of course Malamar is being played right now. There's no denying that it's going to be played for a while. It's a good card with a lot of good options for decks, so that's why we're playing 2 parallel cities to counteract those. Then for draw support, we have 4 Cynthia, 3 N, and 3 Sycamore. So along with our 10 ball support, we have 10 draw supporters as well. Again, we just want to dig through our list. We want to get our Pokemon, get our energy, get our float stones so that we can use Dawn Wings, and then we're off and running. There's no stopping us at that point. Then we have 3 Guzma. We want to be able to take the knockouts that we want to take. This allows us to do that. Then 2 Choice Band. This is going to allow us to just bump our numbers up just a little to get right up over that 210 mark and take knockouts on, or take one-shots on stage 1s and potentially stage 2s, depending on how much psychic energy we add. Then 3 Floatstone. This, like I said a few times already, it's going to help our Dawn Wings be able to switch into the active and retreat back out so that you can make some really cool plays. And then 11 Psychic Energy. We, of course, need to make sure we have our energy early on. We need to get this set up quickly, and we also need to be able to discard some so that Malamar can do what it needs to do. So that is the list in a nutshell. Pretty straightforward, nothing too spicy about it. This is kind of the, without sounding disrespectful, I guess like the basic starter pack for a Malamar Necrozma list. But I think the basicness of it makes it simpler to play, I guess. Not very confusing. It's just very straightforward. You have one goal in mind, and that's just to take big knockouts. And everything in the list really helps you to do that. So, without further ado, we are now going to hop on the ladder, grab a couple games, and show off the list. Alright, where'd you go? Okay, so this is probably Ultra Necrozma, which I'm actually really happy with. It says they have the advantage. I tend to disagree with that, just based on what I've seen. But we'll see. I could be wrong about this one. Who knows? Okay, so we're going to start with our Mew in the active, simply because it's the free retreat. We're going to be able to take a mulligan, which is great. Alright, yep, that's exactly what I thought. Now the advantage they're going to have is they have Beast Energy, which of course we could have used for our Dawn Wings, but that's not really the focus. Our focus is using Necrozma, which is odd that he's not considered an Ultra Beast. Maybe they'll change that in the future. So let's see how he starts off. He has the Lele start, which is really good for us. But of course he's going to have his searches as well, his mystery treasures. He's probably got those paired up with Ultra Balls. But he's having to discard a Guzma right out of the gate, whereas we get to discard an Energy right out of the gate. And have our draw supporter. Another Lele. He's probably going to go for a search card. Cynthia. All right. He's gonna get his Inkay down. We need to do our best to get about 2 Inkay down, because the target really is going to be to try to take down their Inkays and Malamars so that they can't do what they need to do. And if we can do that faster than they can, then we kind of have the game. Okay, great. So we get our attachment, and we get a search. All right, so let's see what we prized. Prized 1 Lele, 1 Necrozma. Ugh, 2 Guzma. That sucks. And 2 energy. 2 Guzma, 2 energy, and the Necrozma, and the Lele. Not great. Not great at all. We'll attach here. Cynthia. I see the heart. Okay. Awesome. So we have another mystery treasure. Dump this guy. Now, our biggest issue for the next turn is right now we only have 1 Malamar and we have no draw supporter in our hand. So we're going to need that there. So what we're hoping to get is a draw supporter off the top deck or another Malamar, and then we should be in business. So they get their 1 Malamar with no energy in their discard. And they won't get any unless they have 1 in their hand with like a discard draw. There's a Sycamore. Is it a Psychic Energy though? It's not. Okay, that's really good news. So now he has to get some sort of discard, maybe Mysterious Treasure or Ultra Ball. And I don't think he has it. He's got Mew. So we might put Mew up there. Alright. Parallel. So he'll get rid of Lele and Mew most likely. But that's fine, it'll restrict him from putting other stuff out and from playing his own parallel. I really wish we had a draw support. And now we're going to get rid of his Floodstone and his Choice Band. That should add a little bit of an issue for him. And now we're going to start accelerating some energy. Again, not as much as we would have liked, but that's fine. I still think so far we're in a little bit better spot than our opponent. And he just scoops it up. He has nothing he can do. Like I said, this is what's happening whenever I face up against Ultra Necrozma. I'm able to kind of outspeed them, and then they can't really do anything. And that wasn't even like a solid setup for us. And we got a pack, so that's awesome. We'll open that at the end of the video. I'm going to grab our second game real fast. I know that was a quick one, but we're just going to grab a second game here. I think the deck is showing what it does, you know. And like I said, we saw this past weekend, that this Malamar Psychic box is just insanely good. And I'm really curious to see what it does to the meta in the future. You know, what happens to Buzzwole. I know Buzzwole has B-String and all these other tools, but still, I mean, how much of it can actually help? That's what I want to know. Alright, so we get to go first, which is nice. So we can have some turn 2 Malamars going. Again, we got a Mew start. Really solid, actually. Depending on what we top deck, I can discard N and whatever we top deck. Play down the parallel to keep them from building up too much. And then Sycamore and just dig. Alright, this is going to be this deck. I mean, I'm gonna need that out there. I'll just discard our parallel. Hate to do it, but I think it's necessary. We'll get another Inkay. So we prized one Inkay. Good there. Prized a mysterious treasure. That's 2. Prize an N is 3. Prize 2 psychic is 4 and 5. What am I missing? Got our other new out. Prize one other thing. I can't figure out what it is. That's alright. We'll go with it. We'll figure out what that last card was. And we will Sycamore. So we have 2 Inkays out. So potentially, alright, sweet. We're going to have. Do I hold the psychic energy? I'm just going to play it. It's not going to hurt. And we'll click done from there. We can use Mysterious Treasure next turn to get a second Malamar. The problem is we have no energy on discard, but that's fine. We have Ultra Balls and Mysterious Treasures, ways to get them back in there. So he played a town map so we can look at his prizes. Come on. Click the right button. There we go. Special charge, Weavile. So he's playing the one that does 50 times damage for the number of abilities on our side. So 1, 2, 3. So 150. So we got to be really, really careful. I mean, we're gonna have the Malamars. There's pretty much no way to avoid that heavy move. We just have to start taking knockouts fast if we can. He's got Mime protecting the bench. Do this. What's the best option here? I think I'm just gonna Mysterious Treasure, dump my Ultra Ball, grab another Malamar here. And I have to just go really hard and fast. And actually, if I could get enough energy on my Dawn Wings, I could just use his GX, prevent this first attack. That would be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. So right now I swing for 250. I'm going to put down the other Mew just in case we need another free retreat. Click done. Alright, so Weavile is going to do his thing. And actually this is a really, really good meta for Weavile to come into. Aside from things like Buzzwole, with all the Malamar out and the beasts. Well, I guess Naganadel doesn't really have any abilities, so maybe not too much of an issue there. And he's got spread. Always doing real evil to hit all of them. That's actually good for us. He takes 2 prizes though, that's the downside. Put this guy out. Alright, so he's playing both. Got another Necrozma. Put it out. I don't think I do yet. I don't really need that, but I will. I'll put Potown. I'll get Potown and this out of the way. I'm going to skip laying down that Necrozma for now. I don't want to spread damage onto it. I'll take the first knockout here for us. And it sucks we're going to have to keep discarding energy for each one of these. Yep, he's probably going to take that one. That makes sense. Oh my goodness, he just took 4 prizes at once. Okay, well we're playing another game then, because there's no way we're beating that. That was insane. Wow. Freaking Weavile. Hashtag new meta. Alright, This will be the last game for sure. Those first two were super fast. Dark Water. Zorak Greninja maybe? I don't know what the colorless would be. Start, which is good. A couple Nest Ball, which is really good. Wish they were Mysterious Treasure with those Psychic Energy. Freaking Hoopa. Okay. So we're gonna have to use Mew in this one for sure. I have to be careful with our Dawn Wings because he can take that out really easily. Alright, Horse. Double Inkay. We will take that. As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to retreat into him. So we'll be able to get Malamar by discarding that. So we're done for now. So next turn, if he puts nothing out, we win the game, actually. Well, if we get this energy. Which is doable. And we'd have to get a Floatstone, which we have 2 in the deck. Alright, so we get our Psychic Energy. That's a start. We'll put it on there for now. And then I'll leave it there. Hopefully he's got nothing else. If he's smart, he's paying attention, yeah, he'll get something down. Okay, so he's playing Aerodactyl. Interesting, interesting. I guess use Hoopa to stall while you build up Aerodactyl. Just gonna use Bite to finish things off. Oh man, how do I want to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 120. Not affected by weakness or resistance. So it should be able to one-shot him, no problem. Okay. We'll grab a Lele for Guzma. And I'll actually still put an energy on Mew just to be safe. Because if he gets knocked out, it doesn't matter. We'll get it right back. And it'll actually go on this Necrozma. Energy drop. There we go. So their biggest advantage is going to be the prize trade, which means we have to be really careful and try to use our Mew as much as possible. Good thing is he can kind of take anything on, except Aerodactyl is going to knock him out. But we have Guzma, and we can actually use a Malamar to take down Remoraid. Yeah, but I guess I hate to do that. There's no point to use a Malamar to do that. And now we can't anyway because it's a artillery. Free energy on Lele. One, two, three. I really need to take down his Mew. Or not his Mew, his artillery. And I know that's gonna kind of help him, but maybe we can stay alive because he won't be able to dig as much and find what he needs. We'll see what happens here. One prize decks. Hate him. Hate him, hate him, hate him. Okay, so we still have a chance to take down Hoopa this next turn. If we play this right. We can Ultra Ball away the Choice Band whenever we get. Well, no, because we need to get our Field Blower first. So we may just have to Sycamore this hand away. Or end. We'll see what we get from that. We have 5 in the discard. So potentially 6 in the deck. There's our Field Blower. That's good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so he's not going to attack, which is interesting. You might as well hit me for 120. Okay, we'll get rid of his parallel. We'll put down a parallel of our own. I'm actually not going to play this energy because I'm hoping to get a Mew and a Dawn Wings out. Alright, we got a Float Stone. That's good enough for me. I'm going to put down this other Inkay. Do we have our other Mew? Yes, we do. We don't have another energy. Dang it. Guess what could we do here? Could put him to sleep and hope it sticks. But that really wouldn't do us much good the next turn. If we build that, he could very... he's got 1 card. Chances of being Guzma slim. Alright, let's... He doesn't have much to work with, so... We're going to do this. I'm not going to attack this turn. Yep, and I will just leave it there. Let's see what we end up with. Oh, no. Okay, he just skips. Awesome. So, triple Malamar. Oh, come on. So, alright, we're going to be tied back up here. And, I mean, he's going to knock us out anyway. So the energy is going to go in the discard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 120. Might as well play this. Probably should put on Lele. We will end. Gives him one more card, that's fine. Alright. Cool, so I can put an energy onto Necrozma. And we can actually put another on Necrozma for next turn. And we have our stretcher to get Mew back. Alright, it's a really close game now. It's all because of the prize trade. Just because he was able to take down a 2-prizer, it made a big difference. And I'm still really surprised that he didn't go for a Necrozma that last turn. Special charge is going to get a couple DCE back. Okay, there's an N, that's okay. Hopefully it doesn't mess up our hand too much. I just really like that stretcher back. Got a Sycamore, I'll take that. Okay, so it's going to have to be a Lele. And we'll do the Malamar with the Choice Band, because the other ones can at least get Float Stones. Alright, I'm going to have to put this guy up. We can do the knockout with Mew. Grab my dog wings now. Oh, we don't have a dog wings. Might as well get this guy out so I don't draw into him. Retreat. Prismatic, that's what we need. Alright. So he's for sure going to go down to 1 prize here, so we just got to hope he doesn't have anything else on his bench, and then we'll have the game won. Should have more Hoopas though. Yeah, definitely more Hoopas, I would imagine. No, that's it, that's game. We just got to be able to get him back into the active. We need one more Floatstone out of 7 cards. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see. We don't have. We do have Darlings. Dang it! I could have done the attachment to him. I might as well put him back because he won't be able to knock him out at least. That's dumb. I should check that first. Got all of our Pokemon out of our deck, so. Alright, we got our Floatstone. That's the game. Whew. That was a close one. Alright. There's the game. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad that worked out. I was really nervous about that, to be honest with you. But yeah, So I hope you get kind of the general idea of how this psychic deck works, whether you do it with just this plain straightforward list or maybe with something that one of the guys in Mexico used this past week, which were some pretty awesome lists, obviously. It's just a cool deck, and it's super consistent. So real quick, since I haven't been on, hey, I'll take that. Since I haven't been on in a couple weeks, what we'll do is I'll buy a couple packs on here, and then we'll open those along with the one I got at the beginning of the video, and then I'll show you that list one more time, and that way if you want to use it, go right ahead. As I mentioned before, that's credit to It's Apollo TK. That's his username on here. That was what I was given for credit, so thank you, Apollo. I really appreciate it. It's a super fun list. I'm probably going to use it at a cup or a challenge. I think it'll work well. So I'll start with Burning Shadows, since that's a old set. See what cool stuff we can get, if anything. Nothing. All right, move on to Forbidden Light. I actually have a few cards I'm needing to get from here still. I'm glad I didn't go and waste a bunch of money on Ultra Necrozmas right now, getting them online, because they're just crazy expensive, and to be honest, I don't think it's going to do as well as just regular Necrozma. So hopefully I'm right, because I still don't have any. And a Fairmosa. Okay, so nothing special. Real quick. I'm sorry, I'm just now realizing that... No, maybe it's not. Okay. That was off. Alright, so there's the list, guys. Like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things a little bit more within the next week or so. And I need to finish up doing some of these Forbidden Light decks for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me over the past couple weeks. Still a lot of people viewing the videos throughout that time, so I really appreciate that. So yeah, so enjoy this list. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, and as usual, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. We're sitting at 275 right now, trying to get up to that 300 mark. Actually making really big strides in the channel, so I really appreciate that, guys. So as usual, I've been Jordan with the Deck Box, where I want to know what's in your box. I'll see you guys next time, okay?